What is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Excuse me whilst I'm shirtless. I'm literally roasting hot today, so excuse me for that. Anyway, today's video is going to be more of an in-depth video in terms of how I go about editing my Instagram Reels and TikToks. As of recent, I've been loving doing these sort of creative, automotive-related edits, as well as nature-related edits with the footage that I captured from when I was in Iceland. So I'm going to try and walk you through some of my editing techniques. Not all of them, but some of them to give you more of a gist of how I go about editing these portrait videos. Before we commence, be sure to drop me a follow on my Instagram page. I'll pop up my @ on the screen now. As I say, I've been loving uploading these reels, so drop me a follow and be sure to stay tuned so you don't miss any of the new reels that I post, as well as just seeing what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis, etc. Instagram is the best place to follow me. So yeah, let's jump straight into a project that I've already worked on. First of all, I'm going to show you guys the final edit. So with this video, I made this video because I wanted to test out a new lens. I've literally today only just purchased an 85mm lens. I've wanted an 85mm for so long. I've finally got one. I'm so happy. It's an f1.8. It's got beautiful depth, and I just think 85s are absolutely gorgeous. So obviously I have my camera in movie mode, and I'm actually shooting everything in portrait, so I don't have to faff around too much cropping and scaling landscape videos to fit portrait. So I'm already shooting in portrait with the intention to edit a reel or a TikTok. Then I'm actually stabilizing my shots. With everything I shoot, I pretty much always stabilize them if I'm shooting freehand, and I shoot freehand quite regularly. And Final Cut has a brilliant inbuilt stabilization system. Just look at the before and after of this shot. So as I say, I'm stabilizing my shots, and if you want extra stabilization and smoothness, shoot at 120 FPS or 60 FPS and slow your footage down, and you can get a real sort of nice, stable, gradual, smooth shot. Now let's talk about this fancy badge effect. So this technique I actually learned from a guy called Ryan Nangle. He's a great editor, videographer and photographer. If you want to learn some awesome editing techniques, go and check out his channel. He provides some awesome strategies, and he also has a site where he gives people access to his custom LUTs that he's created, as well as some really cool effects that you can download for Final Cut as well. So his link will be in the description. Go check him out. So anyway, for this technique, what I'm doing is I'm actually having to duplicate a clip first. So of course, I go through my general rules before commencing this technique, obviously stabilizing the shot, making sure I've got the exact section of the shot I want to use for this specific part. And then I'm duplicating the clip, so layering one on top of the other. And I'm using something called a freeze frame on Final Cut, which the shortcut for is just Shift and H. And that provides a freeze frame on a specific clip, and then I'm dragging out the excess parts of the footage and cropping it to basically how long I want that freeze frame to last for. Then I'm using a draw mask to mask out the specific section of that frame that I want to overlay with the footage underneath, and in this case that is the badge. So I'm sort of briefly masking out that Abarth badge on the front of the car, and I can zoom in, as you can see, so I can be more accurate with my draw mask tool. And then from there I'm using a smooth zoom in and zoom out tool. This tool is actually a downloadable plugin which Ryan Nangle provided. However, you can use other smooth in and zoom out effects, but this is a very good one to work with, as I find that it's smoother than a lot of the others that you can get online. And then again, I'm cropping that just over the actual badge effect, just over that clip that I want the animation to basically start and end on. And from there, I'm adjusting that. So basically, I'm having to create a compound clip so it doesn't affect the clip underneath. So I create a compound clip rather, and I'm adjusting the position of where that badge is going to end and basically zoom out, like where the zoom out point is going to be, if that makes sense. So I need to adjust the positioning of that badge. So it starts basically from where the badge already is, and then I will decide by moving around the axes where I want it to zoom out to and where I want it to end back up. Now, in terms of where I want the badge to end back up, I'm having to use the keyframe technique. So I'm keyframing the transform tool. So I select the transform tool, I keyframe, and basically go right to the last frame of that clip and place it so it lands pretty much right back where that badge actually is. Now you can get even more fancy with this effect and use some glint glow effects. So I use this specific glint effect and keyframe that so the glow is gradually increasing as the badge is popping out, and it's creating this almost really cool theatrical effect. It's just a nice little fancy effect that you can do to spice up your edits. There's more you can do with it, such as adding a fancy droplet effect, etc., but I won't go into all of that today. Now, on top of this, I also like to cut my music in beat, or rather cut my clips in beat with the music that I'm using. And I often go off the audio wave. So when there's a spike in audio, I can often tell where there's going to be a kick drum or a snare. So that can already help you cut your clips in time with your music. But I'd say it's essential to always cut your footage in time with your music for Instagram Reels and TikTok to give it that on beat sort of dancey, smooth effect that basically complements the music and the trending music, if you're using trending music, that you are going to use. And that just helps you with the algorithm when you come to upload a TikTok or a Reel, and that will help to push your video further. And then I'm always color grading my footage. So I add an adjustment layer over my clips, choose a custom LUT, and as I say, color grade. There are loads of LUTs out there, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about how I color grade my footage in today's video, but that's another thing I do. Then, as I've said in previous videos, with some TikToks, I love the sort of speed ramp effect, and that is basically where you cut a video at a certain point, speed a video up in a certain specific section, then slow it down, and maybe you'll do that again in time with the music to create a really cool on-beat effect. So I've been loving this sort of speed ramp / time-lapse effect, as I've said. There's loads and loads of editing techniques, but today I guess this is focusing more solely on that badge-specific effect. But this video again has just been something to give you guys a little bit more of a heads up of how I go about editing my Reels. As I say, drop me a follow on Instagram, and if you want me to do any more specific videos where I talk about how I edit something in particular, then please let me know in the comment section down below. Apart from that, hope you're well. Catch you guys soon.